Hello everyone, how's it going? I am the Sage of Calidor, and this video is about my take on the races in Warhammer 1 Total War. This is going to be a take on the classic races that existed in the first Total War Warhammer game. In this one, I'm going to be going over the factions and the legendary lords involved in my take on each of them. And so, yeah, let's begin. To be honest, I'm very racist against the forces of chaos, so I'm not going to even bother with the Beastmen. Bretonia! The two factions I pick are, well, guess it, Borello and Leon the Lionheart's faction. I would pick, my take on these two guys is I am a martial lord centric person, and I find these guys as pretty strong, pretty powerful. I also like their lore, and their mount is a flying hippogriff, so I like it a lot. The reason why I would not pick the Fey Enchantress is the fact I usually rely on my generals as sort of a unit to plug in the gap. And really, to be honest, I don't know, I just don't see myself playing the Fey Enchantress. It's nothing personal with her, it's just she doesn't really fit my style. Dwarves? Me liking elves first and foremost, don't consider playing dwarves too much, but should I pick one, I would pick the white dwarf for the experience because I like his events regarding the various ancestor gods. Like every several turns or so, you can choose which god to honor and to venerate, and it gives you various bonuses and buffs, and I personally find that as pretty cool. One of my friends mentioned to me that I would play well as the Empire. I don't see myself as doing that, to be honest. I'm not much, I don't know. In Warhammer Fantasy, of all the human factions that I prefer, it is usually the Southern Realms, Kelsave, and Bretonia. So I don't consider myself much of an Empire person. But if I had to make a decision, I would go with Karl Franz, the faction leader. Oh, but yeah, so I would go with Karl Franz, and because yeah, he's awesome. Well, anyway, I accidentally nudged the mouse, so sorry to keep you waiting. So greenskins, I'm not much of a greenskins player, but I have a special connection to greenskins. Not in a way that you may think, but it has to do with the fact I got introduced to Warhammer Fantasy Tabletop by playing this little small battle. It was a gaming night at my friend's house. We were waiting for other people to either wait for other people to show up or had nothing planned. But anyway, when it was me and two of my friends. Well, the friend who I was at, he said, you know what, I'm going to teach you guys how to play Warhammer. My friend picked the dwarves, and I picked the greenskins, the orcs, and goblins, and I won. So, because of that, the greenskins are usually that sort of that your first, it's sort of like, I don't know, it's just I feel like I kind of owe them a nod of respect because they introduced me to, I was able to get blooded with Warhammer Fantasy. For faction leader, well, I would go with Grimgor Ironhide because he's the best. Warriors of Chaos, well, Chaos, not going to bother with them. Yeah. Even though Norse Cut is Chaos, they're strange. They don't worship the Chaos gods exactly. Um, and unlike the rest of Chaos who wants to destroy everything, the Norskins will at least, well, settle certain areas, so I see myself as playing them a few times. Also, it will be nice to use Mammoth, be on the not on the receiving end of Mammoths a few times. Speaking of Mammoths, I will go with Wulfric the Wanderer as my faction of choice because, one, the Mammoth mount, and two, I like him better than Throg, but suppose I want Throg, which I might have him, I can always beat him in a battle and confederate with his faction. Vampires! Well, let me tell you, my first interaction with playing Warhammer Total War was a custom battle. One of my friends was so kind to create a custom battle for me. And I played as a vampire, counts ironically against the orcs and goblins. Well, I lost. How'd that happen, you ask? Well, I underestimated on how much I had to babysit a lot of my chaff units, and I forgot. And I had a unit of dragon princes, and I forgot to, well, get them out. I forgot to use them when they got mobbed by orc boar boys. Well, the faction leader I will pick is Vlad von Karstein. Well, anyway, I like Vlad a lot because, well, I like his Vanguard deployment. I mean, earlier when I was thinking about this video, I talked to another friend and he mentioned that he did not think very much about vampires because they have no missiles. But because I know vampires have no missiles, it means I can, well, I know what I need to do to close the distance faster. And so Vlad's Vanguard deployment will be useful to close the distance between myself and the enemy missile units. I am a bit sad that the vampires have been divided between the von Karsteins and the vampire accounts. I loved it when Vlad was like the fourth legendary lord of the vampire accounts. But honestly, the way things are going, it sounds like the three legendary lords, Manfred, Heinrich, and Hermann Gorst, I believe, are going to be subdivided into their own factions anyway, or at least Heinrich. So really, it isn't too much of a bother, really. Wood elves. Well, anyway, everyone knows I love elves a lot, so I see myself playing as the two factions of the Wood Elves, the faction led by Orion and the other led by Durthu, because, well, both of their styles of play are different, but at the same time similar, and it will be interesting to have two different takes. Plus, again, I can confederate. Durthu, you buff him up well enough, and you go toe-to-toe, head-to-head against Kolak, the dragon ogre. So it's pretty good. Also, Sorry, I had to cough. Orion's spear throw hits like a truck, and yeah, I find it as pretty cool. I will say another quick fun fact against me. No, fun fact about me is my second time playing Warhammer Fantasy was using the Wood Elves against the Orcs and Goblins, and this time I won. So, similar situation, a custom battle, I won. Of course, I admit there was a time in which I thought I did it almost lost, but I won. So, anyway, that's my take on all the factions of Total War Warhammer. I'll see you around. I'm going to be, hopefully soon after this, be recording and posting a video about the factions of Warhammer 2. See ya. Bye.